All right, hey chat. Welcome to my second day of working on my desert fortress. If you didn't catch yesterday or you're curious what I am building, um, what I'm attempting to do is build this desert fortress, which is going to be a giant rotating ring. And my intention is, instead of building it on the ground like this one here that I did in creative mode, I'm going to attempt to build it on this tower here. So I did a bunch yesterday on the substructure. Today I am going to attempt to a bit more of the substructure. Maybe we'll get to the floor. I'm not sure if I'll break it free right now because it's still fixed, so it's not rotating. So I think at this point we will just head over there. I've got a bus station where it's at, so we'll just fly in there. I had to stock up with a few extra materials yesterday just so I would have enough for today, especially the sandstone. All right, this will give you a good idea of what we're looking at as we fly in, where we're at so far. So the cross beams, I did those previously where I switched out. There we go. So let me take a look and see what material we've got. Okay, I've got lots of totals return. I only fell to my death once yesterday. All right, I'm just going to pop down. I've got a village just down here where I crank out my sandstone. So we'll take a look at it as we fly down. A bunch of that what you see is the scaffolding I'm using just to work. This is expert mode, so I can't fly around. So I have a bunch of scaffolding in place just so I can maneuver inside and underneath it. All right, let's get a bunch of this sandstone. I'll crank out a bunch more as well. Our little sandstone factory. Start this one up again. All right. So that'll give me 4 blocks of sandstone. Should have enough wood and everything else. Let's just take it. Better be safe than sorry and have a little bit extra. One more of those. That'll give me enough. So this is my current level 10 village in the desert, and I haven't really done much of anything with it. That's why I'm building this new one. And then once I've got this one built, I will remove that one, and this one will take over. Just the jump pad. That's why I have the totem to return. All right. So those that didn't see what was going on yesterday, this part here that I'm standing on is going to be the rotating ring. Currently, I've still got it attached in 4 points to this piece where my pointer is on. That is a fixed floating ring that I set in the sky, and it's going to rotate around it. This wall on the outside is what's going to hold it from falling off, hopefully. And then I'm going to have to put in place a bunch of balloons because it's going to be incredibly heavy afterwards. Some thrusters. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run around. First I'm going to get some more supplies, and then I'm going to run around and I'm going to add extensions onto each one of these wheel points where I can attach thrusters and more balloons. And then I'm going to start working on the bottom part, which is not required for the movement, but it's just to make it look more aesthetically pleasing. And starting out from the bottom, when you look up, it just looks like a track and such. And I kind of want to hide all of that with like a sandstone flooring cover, which might be a little more complicated because there are a bunch of overlapping pieces, which gives you the directional. You can't align things in different directions. Sometimes I can work with it. Sometimes I have to leave a bit of a gap. So right, first, start with round 1 of the day, and I'm going to put on this here, and I want it to be be right there on every single one of them. Just double check this just to make sure. So I need an even enough room. These two blocks will be destroyed later on. These two blocks, I've got them in 4 places around there. They're holding everything together. They will be destroyed, which will drop the wheels down onto this track. But I can't be too close. If I get too close to the track, it starts to bind up when I try to do the rotating part. So, all right, the mundane task of going around and putting all of these in. Of course, it's night already. All right, let's just sleep through the night quickly here. I should actually put my bed down there because sorry, I keep dropping all the time. Yeah, let's actually do that. Let's take everything from here. And we'll take the bed. And that will just stick down one level down. Drop a bunch of this stuff off. I don't think I need the wrench just yet. All right, and let's set that as a spawn point. There we go. All right. Bear with me as we go around. Sorry. The reason I dropped this down so low is when I'm done here, I'm going to put a row of balloons all along here sticking straight out towards me, including in the middle here. So it's going to come over top of this, and then I'm probably going to stick a couple balloons on here as well as thrusters. I mean, we'll have to experiment when we get to this point because I don't. That was a mistake. I'll have to experiment with that because the amount of balloons will cause it to float away if I put too many. But if I don't put enough balloons at the start, it'll break the wheels if it's too heavy. Right now it'd be fine, but once I start adding some weight, it'll break the wheels. And if I add too many, then it starts to float away, which is a disaster as well. It wasn't so bad. I mean, it was bad when I was in creative, but at least in creative, I could somewhat float it back into position. It was never quite the same as it was originally, but at least I could get it back onto the subtrack there and make it rotate around. But here, I really don't want to. I think if I do it here, it's probably a restart, which is not really desirable. Obviously, that would be a bit of a disaster. And the nudge is so handy now. The nudge down. I mean, I've always had nudge, but it used to be so miserable before trying to make that work. There's the other sets. So there's 4 sets. Each north, south, east, west quadrant has those blocks in place right now. Keep those for the moment. It's nice when it actually stays at the right height. Seems to be working better if I stay at this angle from farther away. Yeah. And I don't know why. Sometimes it resets like that. Nice if it just stayed at the right elevation each time. All right, halfway. Leg. At least the leg's enough that gives me a chance to have a coffee. Should have built a better scaffolding, I think. It's fairly narrow in some places. Yeah, you got to bear with me. It's going to be a fairly mundane process. I think yesterday was 7 times each different step was 7 different times all the way around, and there are a set of 60 wheels on this, so every time I do it, it's a repetitive process of 60 more trips around the tower, placing 60 or so pieces every time. Not enough resources already. Granite. I grabbed extra granite, but I guess not. Let's get some more. Oh my god, granite sounds okay. I'm still all right there. I got lots of extra supplies in my main base as well. I didn't bring over too much. Kind of restock each time before I start building again, just to make sure I've got enough, at least to get me through the day. Soon we're going to need a whole bunch of sandstone though, because the build will be primarily, once I get this substructure down, the build is primarily going to be out of the Moss Isley, which is almost all sandstone. Let's sleep again. Yeah, it's almost all sandstone. You can see from the picture here, everything on that whole top piece is pretty much Moss Isley parts. It does use quite a few as well, because in order to get it into a circle shape, I had to use a lot of little filler pieces in there as well. It's not as simple, but I kind of like it because it does leave a lot of contours and such to the build. And anywhere I've got the extra contours with the shadows and the lighting, makes it look a lot nicer. Right, just more pieces. Then we'll start working on the substructure. I mean, the facade, I guess, underneath. All right, that's all those pieces. All right, facade might be a little bit more complex. Start with the, start here, because this is the main anchor point. This one block right here is the one that holds everything in the air. It's the one causing everything to float. So I tend to start with it just to make sure that I don't lose track of where I'm at and mistakenly do something I don't want to, which will cause the whole thing to come crashing down. All right, so I got to leave a bit of a gap, because I've got, for the whole base and foundation, I've got these little tiny pieces that hold everything together. That's how it's managing to stay in a circle, because the angle between each one of the pieces is not enough to trigger the objects don't align. But it's enough to anchor the two pieces together, but it causes everything to drop down one more gap. So I'm going to try and do a combination of pieces over top. And yesterday I went through and I inverted everything. And the reason I did that is I like this look of the smooth. See, I'm already getting the objects must be aligned here, and I'm getting that from what? What is it not aligned with? It's on this one. There, see. And it's really weird too. Like sometimes you can do that, you just flip it, and it all of a sudden magically corrects itself. So yeah, I want it to look like that on the bottom rather than looking like this on the bottom. I didn't want all the little holes. I wanted it to be cleaner. Let me just see if that's going to cover in enough. probably have to go more as well at some point. Maybe I back it out too, because I'm going to want to put like the same wall I have on the outside here that's covering everything. I'm going to want that same wall on the inside, and it needs to be far enough out that it doesn't obstruct the rotating part. Because even if it's, that's why there's even a gap here of a couple of blocks. So if it's too close to the tires or too close to the other piece, it starts to bind up. And I also don't want it to bind up, so let's rotate that. I'm going to back this out a little bit. That's lined up with this one. All right. Yeah, and I'm probably going to end up sticking another piece similar to this one on the inside. I'm not going to do it just yet because I need to put all the balloons and stuff in. It's probably going to be 2 pieces wide. I'll stick this one in there for right now. Yeah, it's probably going to be about that wide. That way I'll put another wall on this inside afterwards to cover it up. So when you're looking at the bottom, you won't see all these wheels, and you won't see the hundreds of balloons I'm going to have in place in order to at least pull some of the weight off and allow it to turn. All right, so this next section is going to be more, it's going to be more tedious because every time I do it, it's going to have errors and glitches. Maybe I'll do every second one first. Yeah, let's do that. We'll do every second one first, and then we'll worry about correcting and modifying the next set, because it's going to require some tweaking. This is aren't going to fall off. I can tell already because I'm distracted enough that I'm not going to see where I'm putting my feet. No, I don't want it there. A little bit more over. Today's a bit more dangerous as well. I try not to use the pickaxe, but I can't break the sandstone without the pickaxe. But making a wrong move could be not too terribly bad, honestly. It might cause some minor repairs, but it should be, at this point, it should be held together enough that it's not going to completely fall apart if I make a wrong swing. It's really weird how like all you gotta do is rotate it, and then it just magically is no longer misaligned. It's quite nice though. I do miss that. Originally, when I first discovered that you could directionally build, that wasn't an issue. You could stack them right on top of each other in different alignments, and it was completely fine. And then once they actually added directional building into the game, then they added that restriction, which it's manageable. I can, some places I have to put a half block gap, but for the most part, it's not too terribly bad. But it is nice that you can rotate, and it somehow negates the glitch occasionally. Just trying to get these centered on every one of them. Some of them I added, they're not just 16 wide, they're 18 wide, so I have to try and slide them over one for some of them. Right, no, it's not right. Two times in a row. so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, that's enough. Add back all one. There, third time's a charm. Misjudging constantly. Wider one, and then I'm not. All right, that's a better angle. I can see what I'm doing now. I don't really want to build too much more foundation, like a scaffolding around either, because then I just have to destroy it all afterwards. Plus, I'm mildly concerned over build limits as well. My calculations, I think I'm all right, but there is a distinct possibility, especially once I start adding the balloons. There's so many balloons that are going to be required on this that it could push me over the build limits. But it's also big enough that it's going to span multiple build sectors, so that might not be an issue. And then also, once I bust this free, it's going to be a rotating. It's going to be a rotating vehicle essentially, and vehicles don't add to the build limit typically. So I'm hoping that that'll also factor. It didn't cause me any problems in creative when I did it, and I essentially built the entire replica of it there. Although this one, the ring itself will probably be about the same because I'm not going to do too much in the way of decor on the inside. But once I get to the point that I'm done with this, I want to add a bunch more to the tower, which for sure is going to then jack up build limits again. So I want to try and leave myself as much as I can. Oh, perfect. Sketchy. And then I'll go sleep at night. All right. Yep. All right. Almost done with round two. Extension on it. Yep. This doesn't have to be a perfect, like you'll see when I do the next round on the alternating ones. It doesn't have to be a perfect overlap because you're not going to notice too well from the bottom. You're far enough down. Right. Yeah, we'll be far enough down that you're not going to. Let's take a look and see what it looks like below. We can. So the scaffold's in the way still. Yeah, it'll cover it up enough. Right. Second level will be a bit more, it may be a bit more tricky. Hopefully we don't have too much in the way of issues. All right, I've got one drop down there. All right, we're going to need, let's see what I can do. It's going to give me, yeah, it's going to end up with some other objects must be aligned. Another object came away. So I'm just going to try and see if I can squeeze them in here. That would be wonderful. If not, yeah, I'm not going to be able to because of those pieces hooking everything together. Let me try something first. Let's get out of this one first. Let's grab a odd piece. I just pick a different one because this way I know I can bust it apart. Okay, that's where the boundary is. I just need to have that in place so it holds this wall, this exterior wall in place, and then we'll try to work off of that and see if I can fit it in without having to drop it down an extra level. So the angles are terrible for looking at this. Okay, so that's up there. That's where it would be. What does that look like? I don't know if I like that big of a gap. I think I'm going to go back to what I did have. Hold on, let me, is there a piece I could use that's too high? I'm just thinking about piece count. I had that one flat piece there. If I put another piece there as well, that means that I will have twice as many pieces as I need. What can I use? I'll drop it down a bit more. Probably one of the beams. Let me see. There's, I don't want to drop it down too much, but maybe those stone beams. They're not the right color, but I don't think you'll see very much of it. How high is that? Yeah, that's the height of 2. Probably use one of those. If I tuck it in, I have it upside down first though. If I tuck it in 1, it'll still hold. Actually, I could tuck it in 2 even. It'll still hold, and that'll cut down 1 piece. We'll just tuck it in 1. All right, let's destroy this piece. Okay, let's try this and see how. Yeah, see, we're gonna have those objects must be aligned, and it doesn't always. Oh, there we go. Amazingly enough. What's that? Is it cover? Yeah, that cover is on that side. And we just got to play around with this side. Let's go back to the Moss Isley. So it's not gonna let me do it there. It's not gonna let me do it there. I'm just gonna a single piece. Try 12. See there. I mean, it's not perfect, but from underneath, I don't think you're going to notice these tiny little gaps. So it's just going to be a game of parting and piecing them together until it gets to a point that it looks half decent. Fortunately, now I got to go through and just select all these. That should be everything I need from there. Okay, let's clear it. Go to my recents menu because I'm going to have to stick Fortunately, I didn't think about this yesterday when I went through and did it. I want these all. I'm just trying to keep everything symmetrical as well. I didn't think about this yesterday, the extra piece count, so a little extra work today. Some of them just fit in nice, even though there's an overlap. It's perfect, and then other ones, it gives me grief. Gotta really make sure I'm paying attention when I break things. All right. Oh, there we go. Nice. All right, work for me. Oh, perfect. Well, that first one was causing me grief. I mean, that one's almost perfect. You can't see anything through there. After this, hopefully I can get rid of the bottom scaffolding, I think. Shouldn't need it anymore. I think I'm going to leave this just slight gap on that side, but then this will fill better without having to add an extra piece in there. Yeah, that little gap I'm not going to worry about too much. Maybe I come after I'm all done and clean things up a bit if I still have piece count left. That's not what I wanted. Just got to touch the other piece. You know what I can do? Oh, I didn't even pay attention. I don't even need to do all this extra work I'm doing because the wall is upside down. I forgot about that. All right, that's going to make my life a whole lot easier. Not too slow a learner, I guess. It only takes me a quarter of the way around before I realize I'm doing more work than I need to do. Although we'll see. I think I might still have a problem if I break it. And if I break it and I don't have a piece in there, maybe the wall falls out. We'll chance it. We'll see. It might be close enough it's already stuck with everything else. Let's go sleep. All right. Somewhere over here. There we go. Oh yeah, that wall is not close enough for sure. Okay, I will stick one on there. If I bust that one, I'm pretty sure the wall is going to fall apart, and then I have to do everything over again. So snap the one I want. Foundation, I feel like it's going to fall off here. Or I'm going to break something I don't want to break. It's so weird, like it doesn't work this way, but I mean, I'm totally overlapping that way and it works. Then we can go this way instead. One way doesn't work, you try the other way. Okay, this one's close enough. I'm pretty sure I can. Yeah, don't need to do the extra step. This will be perfect. Another piece. That one will also be close enough. Which is good because I didn't really have another option there. Slap that one on and see if that works. Yeah, perfect. The edge. That one should be close enough. We'll chance it. We'll chance it. And it stayed up. Good. It's even wider, huh? Put a large overlap on that one instead of using two pieces. That one's definitely going to be okay. A nice angle. Stick? No. Yeah, it did. Sometimes that lag trips me out. I don't know if it actually stuck or didn't stick. Let's see, close enough. Oh, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna chance this one. Sorry, hopefully I don't make it too dizzy circling around. Getting the best perspective on this. Stick this one on that side. Yeah, that one's definitely going to be okay. Farther. That one will be okay as well. That one I'm not going to chance. I think that one will fall apart if I break it. Selection's not happy at all. Oh, there we go. So weird. Just keep rotating. Eventually it doesn't have the alignment there anymore. I wish they would just remove that. Allow it to have a small bit of overlap. In the air. I mean, I can understand if they're heavily overlapped, but it'd be nice to have a little bit more give in its tolerance on the overlapping. Let's try the 12 instead. No, doesn't like that either. Back to the 16. Ah, there we go. Try on that one. Two parts here. Let's see. I'm hoping I might have to be a little bit more creative here. Okay, it's not bad. Hopefully this one will fit. Yeah, perfect. That'll work. That'll work. Yeah, when you're this close up, it doesn't look that beautiful, but when we get from the bottom, it's going to be so high in the air, I don't think you'll notice those little imperfections. Anyways, plus the way I'm going to build this structure is going to have so many angles and corners, it kind of obscures or hides any imperfections. It almost makes it look like it's part of the build style. I'm going to chance this one. Must have placed my 200 pieces to get my achievement for the day. That give me like 2 levels. Yeah, that one will be okay. Hey Eloy, how are you doing? Thanks for jumping in. Yep. There's my other jump pad. Get disoriented and I don't, because you go around in circles so many times, I forget where I've left off. Somewhere, oh, there we are. Gotta figure out where I last left off on this circle. You get going around and around so many times. go. Close enough for sure. A bit of a gap there. All right. No, that's definitely going to need some enforcement or it'll fall apart. That's close enough. I'm getting close to at least the 3/4 mark. Yeah, 3/4 mark. Come on, stick, stick. Oh, there we go. Don't like when I can't hear the little snap sound of it clicking into place. How close is it on this side? Oh yeah, that should be okay. We'll chance it, we'll chance it. And it stayed there. Hopefully this one fits. Perfect. And I want to be okay as well. Fall away. Let's see. Does that cover up enough or no? Good enough. Small gaps are okay. That should be alright as well. Every time I'm upside down, I always get the directions on the D-pad messed up and end up having to rotate which way I'm pressing the buttons. My brain just can't ever adjust to being upside down. I always press the wrong way. I'm trying to nudge over when it's upside down. Sorry, I just got to be really particular about how I break those bricks so that I don't destroy anything else. So I make you dizzy as I spin around. this one? No. This one's not happy either way, huh? Alright, what about a 12? 12 it doesn't like either. It's not happy with this one at all. Alright, let's try the 8. It's object in the way. What object is in the way? Well, that's really bizarre. There's nothing in the way there. Does 6 fit on there? Okay, so let's I don't know, sometimes it just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see if the 6 snaps in place. How bizarre, huh? It's shows object in the way for 1, but then you go the other way and it works out fine. Right, those will be touching for sure. Scaffolding's a little bit sus in some places. I should have built a bigger one, I think. But I think after this, I don't really need the bottom scaffolding anymore. I'll probably leave it for right now, but I think that not too long I'll be removing it. All right, just a couple more pieces. So that one I'm going to have to anchor in place for. I got 2 more. All right, this will be okay. That one I don't even need. Perfect. One last piece to use. And that one's still anchored in place, so let's go this way so I don't break anything I don't want to. I'm wondering if I can just slap this onto this one and then I don't even have to. Oh no, I won't be able to keep this here. Overlapping. And hopefully, oh yeah, look at that. Oh no, I spoke too soon. Oh no, there we go. That's going to stick out. That is going to drive me nuts if I have to look at that. There's no way. What can I do? What can I do? I guess I can sleep first and get through the night. It's always easier when you can see what you're doing. What if I try removing this piece first, and then we'll stick this one in. I'll try to at least. We'll see if it allows me. It won't allow me. So it's not that side that's causing me the grief, it's this side. So let's stick this one back again. So I have these weird combinations of playing around to figure out what it'll let you do and what it won't let you do. Sometimes it lets you get away with it, and sometimes it doesn't. See, and now it's got a gap there, but I think I'm going to live with that tiny little gap, but at least it lines together. So what does that look like? It's hard to tell with all the scaffolding in the way, but from the bottom it's going to look cleaner at least. Yeah, that'll look a lot cleaner from the bottom, especially when you way down here. I don't think you'll even notice so much. Backed out. All right, so I should still be able to reach everything from here. I might have to lower that scaffolding again, but I think I'm going to start working on just the floor. I won't work on the walls yet. That way I'll make sure everything's lined up. Let me destroy one level of this as well. This is the original rig I used. It's a big rotating rig that I used when I was putting in my foundation. I could probably get rid of the whole thing. I don't think I need it anymore, but I will leave it for the moment, just in case I do something absolutely devastating. Okay, so let's get the first floor piece in. And if my math is correct, that will be the orientation I want it in. I drew a picture. I got a picture here as well because I had to measure all this out and make sure it aligned where it was supposed to be. Let me get two sets. Yeah, this is a whole bunch of pre-planning on this ahead of time to make sure that everything fits the way it's supposed to. And where is that? Oh, down in there. I'll drop into that. I might actually replace some of these later on with some of these more decorative pieces, but for right now, we'll see. I'm not convinced how much I'm going to do on the interior because it's too huge. If I start putting too much decor on the inside, it's going to just eat up my piece count. That's not that. And the moment of truth. Oh, yeah. So there is a slight gap between the two, but I think I can live with it. It's not where I want it to be though. So let's duck. Right. So this, I keep grabbing the wrong one. If it's correct, it should be dead center and 2 back. And it is. Sorry. Excuse me. All right. So that is 1/4 of what the floor is going to look like. And that should build it out all the way around. So I think I'll put the floor on, and then I'm going to slap some balloons on it. I'm going to put some locking pieces in place so it can't fly away. And then I think it is the critical moment where I'm going to break this whole thing free and hope that it does not fly away or crush all the wheels. All right. I got lots of sandstone, so we're okay there. After this, we'll do a flyover. Because now it should start to look pretty impressive. Sorry, I gotta get my bearings again. I've done a circle piece, a 2, block of 4. Do it off of here because I want to make sure it's for sure anchored. No gap here, so that's perfect. Keep grabbing the 12 by 12, not that. Count again. I gotta get it perfect every time or else it's not gonna line up going around. That's right where that one needs to be. Set. let's go for sleep. Oh, almost. Flag froze. Should be able to just go off these ones. And hopefully everything snaps together as it should. All right. All right, let's take a look at how monstrous this thing is going to be. Yeah, so it's going to be awesome. If I don't blow it up here in the next few steps. Yeah, if I can actually get this thing to rotate up here, that will be fantastic. Okay, I think I'm going to destroy the underneath foundation now. There's no... I don't think there's... Well, maybe I'll leave it. Okay, let's see. Do I have stuff for balloons? No. Let's go get the balloon stuff. Start slapping some balloons. Other stuff must be on top. Yeah, this is probably got to be nearly enough for the balloon that I need, but it'll be a start. And I pretty much got to replicate that on every single one of them. I'm not going to put that much on now. If I put too many on now, it's just going to fly away. I just need to get some weight off of it. So I'll start with the 4 pivotal points, which are these 4 here. I'll put a couple in the middle of each of these afterwards. And I think we're going to break it free. Hopefully we don't blow all the wheels off it. All right, where is the midpoint? It is right about here. So let's stack some on here as well. And the midpoint is there. And as we put more on, I will adjust the number of balloons accordingly. You can see that the tires will start to push through the track below, and then you know it's time to add more balloons. Where is it? It's this one. I'll put it on this one here. Start to push through the track, and then you know you got to add more weight to it, or more balloons to it, more lift. It's kind of like a balancing act. I did have my other one float away a few times. But the next thing we'll do is put some anchors in place as well. Oh my goodness. Man, I tell you, of the superhero powers, that one. The trap, oh, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. Where was I? Okay. Dirty little bugger. And right about there. Okay, so that is in place. Now, let's put in some protection. That's there. 4 back. One, two, three, 4. That should be good enough to anchor it so it doesn't fly away. On there as well. What do I do? I think I'm going to add a second one. just to be sure. Better safe than sorry. Having this fly away would be a nightmare. Alright, once again, let's sink through the night here. We'll go break the underneath supports and cross my fingers that it doesn't completely implode on me. Maybe it is a good thing I didn't break that bottom scaffolding yet. I gotta get in there. Some wooden stairs. That's one of four. I was thinking through the night too, I put the last one out of stone, so I have to pick it, which was probably a foolish idea as well. Hopefully I don't make an absolute mess of that. Let's get up here. That's two. Is three. Now there's only one more set holding the whole thing up. Right. This will be the moment of truth when I break this one apart. Let me get rid of these stairs as well. I don't want those. Of course, I put in stone stairs. Those are the last two right there. Let's freak out. I think I'm going to actually destroy it from the bottom and replace this piece afterwards. That's probably a safer bet. So if I break this first one, it should drop. All right. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping that this doesn't make a big mess. Here we go. And it drops. All right. Let's knock that one as well. I don't need it. And let's put this piece back in, and then let's go inspect how things are looking on. Let's go see how things look from the top side. It definitely moved, and it dropped. So I don't have enough balloons on it, but the wheels are looking okay. They're not sinking down into the ground at this point, which is really good, because as they sink into the, yeah, might need to put a few more on. It's kind of hard to tell, but you can see they're sinking in a little bit. Not at the point where I want to start rotating it yet. Once I start rotating it, then it's not perfectly aligned where I want it to be. And even right now, I think it's, yeah, even right now you can see it's turned, because this beam here that I'm on was dead center with this block in here, and now it's all shifted and turned a little bit, which is fine. I mean, the whole intention of this thing is for it to rotate and turn. All right. Well, that was a relief. That is now free to turn. Okay, I want to do a flyover. I want to do a flyover again. Let's get up even a little bit higher. All right. Okay, the next step is to start putting some walls in place. I need to go back to my other world, because I didn't pre-plan this far ahead. I mean, a bit of it, most of it's just going to be kind of a feel for what I want as I go along, but there were a few critical points that I had. So let me head down to my village, and we will log out. We will go to my sandbox. We'll just take a look at what I had there, just to kind of give me an idea of what I did. All right, let's go check that out and see what it looks like, and then we'll come back and we'll start adding some walls on. I'm definitely not going to get done with it all today. There's a lot of filling in, but if I can get a few of the key corner pieces that need to be in certain spots. All right, let's pick that one. I see Krusty's in the shop today. I didn't see him before. Huh? What's Krusty look like? Maybe, I don't know. He's cool, but I don't know if I would wear him that often. For everything loading here. Yeah, you can see from here how many balloons I'm going to end up having in place. I mean, it's ridiculous. And even now, this one doesn't turn. I think it's still a little too heavy. It's not going to be exact when I do this other one. I just wanted to, it's these corner pieces like this. I just wanted to take a look at it and see what I had to fit in a few spots. And these ones here, where did I have them line up? Something I was curious about. So we're just on the outside. This one's been lagging heavy. I think I'm going to end up having this same issue. Like you'll see when I crumble anything. So it's just outside and placed in there. Okay, so it's just on the outside edge. This wall. So the insides, I just put whatever walls I want. They are 16s, I imagine. Look at that crumble away. It's just weird, huh? So why did I have 2 pieces in there? What was that? 12? Yeah, 12 and 4. Why would I do that? Yeah, you can see the lagging is crazy. It might be because I have restrictions on. Well, I could have easily put in less pieces there. So it's a 16 there. I must have a 16 and yeah, there's a corner piece on the outside. Okay, so 2 16s. Start with this. I mean, I can use whatever I want. I mean, you can see I put in some places I put in windows. This one's going to be largely, I mean, it's going to be semi-symmetrical, but it's also at the same time going to be symmetrical. You look at it from an overall top-down view, but when you look at it from a close-up view, it's not really symmetrical anymore. I mean, I've randomly put different pieces. Like if you look at the centers here, I tend to have the round 3 pieces in the center, but then there'll be round windows with square windows on one side, and then over here it's different patterns as well. So that's the kind of look I'm going for. So it's essentially symmetrical on each side of the 4 quadrants. So on this one being the south side, I've kind of put, just in this case, I put orange on both sides. If you go to this side, I put different windows in. So semi-symmetrical, but not completely symmetrical. And then the roof is just completely random at this point. So I'm going to start with some of the structure. What did I have? Let me take a look inside of there as well, because I think I want to start with those ends, or start with the corners. Got what I need there, and then on this side, I've put in 4 of those. That one goes right in the, let's pause this one for a second. Oh, man, it's crazy amount of lagging on this one. There's that corner piece there. So how do I have that in there? All right, so 2 in, 2 in. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So put in 2 and 2 on that side, and then the corners touch. So we'll start with that. I may have to come back again and get some ideas off of this one. But that'll give me a good starting point at least. All right, let's head back. We'll start filling in some of those pieces. I think I'll fit in the corners, and that'll probably be it for today. Then I'll come back and I'll take some screen grabs of this one and get some placements of where I put things, just so I don't have to do as much trial and error troubleshooting as I finish out the rest of the building. All right, back to the expert world. That's probably my favorite Lego background, I think, right there. I got so many of the Lego backgrounds of the Brick Life ones. I think I prefer the Odyssey ones. Brick Life ones are too PG. This one's at least a little scary, a little intimidating. All right, one. All right, let's get filtered out to the Moss Isley. How much sandstone do I have? Probably enough for the moment in time. These are those corner pieces, yeah. So let's stick that there. And let's just pick some random 16 pieces. Let's get some windows as well. Oh, of course I need some plastoid. All right, let's take a long way. Take a long way home. Plastoid's all in my main village, so I don't have that much. I'm probably gonna have to do some farming. For some more plastoid. We'll grab what I have so far. Got like a jump pad, geyser. Back to my main village here. Let's build up my stamina again. This is my beacon with my original 3 trophies on the top. I'll put out a little video on that as well. When I build there. I was going to put in a big giant bridge across here, but I decided not to. I'm going to, but then I decided not to. I have substructure there. So you can see Grind Central Station here. This is my world spawn is just right down there where that build is. This was the first big hill close by. I didn't know what to expect in Expert, so I just built on the closest big hill that I could find, and then I just expanded and expanded off of it. All right, here's my Star Wars stuff. All right, let's grab a few of those. Let's grab 4. Let's grab some more sandstone just in case. I got a bunch more in my desert village as well. Grab a bit more granite just in case. Much more wood. All right, we will bus station back. Yeah, not too far apart. I put them close enough that I'll be able to move between them without necessarily using the bus stations, but at least they'll still be accessible to each other. Hey, Claire Bear and Dwayne, welcome back, Dwayne, again. Hey, thank you very much. Yeah, it's going to be a substantial build by the time I am done with it, I think. Let's just use a simple wall window here. All right, that should give me enough anchor point for the curved one. On each side. All right, and this will be, I think I had to put in some filler blocks here as well. I'm going to have to check. I'm pretty sure that I didn't pay attention to that. I think I put in some 8x8s. Yeah, I'm very confident there's an 8x8 there that I haven't put in yet. It just doesn't make sense from what I just looked at. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's put in that other corner now. This one here. I had it into, yeah. This will give me some sort of a building points. These 4 corners will all be pretty much identical, and then I really enjoy the, you saw in the other part, these open center points here. I really enjoyed the way that they turned out. I think I'm gonna fix this here as well. Just I don't want to divide the. You can see there's a slight weird overlap. I don't want that to be right in the middle of this room. I'm going to have it on the border of this room. So you can see already the lag is, even as I break these ones, it's starting to do some sketchy lag. I think it's worth it though. It's going to be worth it by the time I get this completed. I think it'll look cool enough. All right, what do I want to put in this one? Is that a 16? No, it's a 12. I can't put in that one. That's 16. All right, let's put in this one. And what other windows do I have? Oh yeah, let's put that one. That's a cool looking window. Which side looks cooler? Oh yeah, let's put that on the outside. Those ones. Getting an 8 by 8 in there. 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 All right. These. All right, back to this. Try to change them up, make sure they're different. Not each time, but at least have some variety in what I'm putting in. I don't know if that one can work because it's got to have. We'll try one. We'll see if that is all right. If it runs into the corner piece, then it won't work, and it might have some stuff sticking out of it that does not allow me. Yeah, see, it doesn't allow the. It's all right. Let's go sleep through the night here. Over here. Yeah, if it's going to get a little bit of a protrusion, then it doesn't allow it. So I've got somewhat limited on what I can use there. I do like the windows though. So this is that a 12? Yeah, it's a 12. Unfortunately, let's put another one of those. The nice thing about these ones too is you can flip them either way, and they look somewhat similar but a little bit different at the same time, which I like. It's one of my favorite sets. This one just seems to have more versatility. Rag note. on this side this time. Let's just use that one and this one. There we go. All right, that's the 4 corners at least. These middles I can do whatever I want with. They were quite nice, but I think I'm going to leave that for right now. And you can stick around. I think right now I'm just going to do some cleanup. I don't think I'm going to do anything actually constructive on the build for the rest of today. I'm just going to do some cleanup. I think I'm going to remove these towers. I think I'll leave the center pin, but I think I'll clean up all this extra on the outside, and I'm probably going to go down and remove the bottom. So more than willing to stick around for the cleanup, but I don't think I'm going to be doing much more today that is on the actual build. And then tomorrow, after I've gone through some of my stuff on the other one, I will come back and work on completing the rest of that. Let's get up top here. I think I'm just going to bust these off at the top and watch them fall and clean it up from the bust it, and then it'll fall, and I will let it even fall over. Let's see. Will it stay in place? And I can't believe it's standing upright. I thought it would fall over for sure. Oh, don't do that, don't do that. Yeah, you can see already the amount of lag I'm going to have. Things are just not enjoying how big this build is going to be. Probably, I'd like it to be a functional base, but it's probably going to be more just an aesthetic base. Something cool to look at, but in reality, it's probably going to be too laggy since I busted apart to be actually functional. We'll see. I mean, if I'm not doing anything with it, it might be, if I'm not moving it or breaking anything, it might be all right. I want to leave. I'll leave something there. Knock that one off. Reminds me of the monorail building days, running along these. I'm totally impressed with those half. Outline didn't get look at it standing up and it doesn't fall over. How perfect is that? All right. It's crazy. I thought it would fall over for sure. It's rotating, but it's not falling. There's just enough lag, it's not even able to fall over. All right. 2 lanes done. walking backwards. Got one. Guess I don't need this motor anymore. I hit this one. All right, there we go. Corner. Falling over. Nope. Right. All right, one more to go. Okay, 3 out of 4 I landed on. That's not too bad, I guess. There it goes. And one of them finally falls over. Yeah, I thought they'd all fall over like that. I'm really surprised the other one stayed upright until the very end. Okay, now I will clean up the bottom scaffolding. Take a look and see what these tires look like as well. Start to go down with the extra weight. Can't really see anything anyways. Well, they're still all right. Still not pushing into the wood too much. Lagged out. This is where I die the most, when it lags out somewhere like this and you don't stop moving in time and it drops you. Okay. Let's see if I can do this without dying. Pick up wood afterwards. Although I'm not terribly worried about wood. I've got so much I feed most of it to Colombo anyways, just because there's a never-ending supply of wood. One ends, the other one begins here. There's also where I like to fall off. Pickaxe. Should have known better. Building, always go through the pickaxes like crazy. Almost around. I didn't count how many times I ran around in circles today. So far, at least I haven't died yet today, which is impressive. That should be the bottom. Completely done. All right, let's do some flyovers and see what it looks like. It should be a little bit cleaner now. Still got that interior scaffolding and those crossbars, but once those are removed, yeah, I like it. What does the underneath look like now? Hopefully it doesn't look too bad. It should look all right. It's going to be a little bit bigger underneath. But from the bottom looking up, I think that'll look, yeah, that'll look all right. Clean enough. I sure hope I can get it to turn, do what I want. I think probably only do it a couple times just to get some footage of it, but I think it'll be awesome. All right, I think that's it for today, everyone. Thank you for joining. I will go do some research on my other one and take a look and see what I need to do for tomorrow. But tomorrow, by and large, will just be building the main structure and adding balloons. And if we get all of that done, then I may get to the point where I actually try to rotate it and see. And then after that, I don't know. I think there's some other stuff I want to do on the tower itself. I want to build like a levitating type of a build right at the very center of the top, right where that top plate was, where I just destroyed all the arms. We'll see, but thank you very much for joining me today, and I will be back tomorrow, and we'll work on filling out the rest of the circular build. See you later. Have a good night or a good day, depending on where you're at.